Hello media viewers, welcome to my classes. We are discussing Indian history and today we are going to discuss about INC and the consequences after Indian National Congress. Media viewers, in our previous session we have discussed about organizations before Indian National Congress, some of the organizations and where they set up, in which year those are set up, and who were the founders of those important organizations in India. So I wanted to repeat that the first organization, the earliest political organization was the Academic Association 1828. Then the first truly political association or a true political organization was Landholder Society. Please make a note that first political organization or the truly political organizations in India, Landholder Society, okay, 1838 it was set up. Right, now we will discuss today in this session INC and after the formation of INC, the consequences. Let's see now. First, so many organizations were formed, okay, like British India Society, British India Association, National Indian Association, Indian Association, Indian League, Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, Madras Mahajan Sabha, Bombay Presidency Association, okay, and East India Association. These all organizations were formed. Why? What are the why these are formed? Because each and every organization have certain demands, but we can find certain common demands among these organizations. So we have discussed about so many organizations, no? Among this organization, certain common demands were there. Certain common demands among the organization. Either these are Landholder Society, British India Society, the Bengal British India Society, British India Association, right? East India Association, Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, Bombay Presidency Association, Madras Mahajan Sabha, Indian League. These all are having certain common demands. What were the common demands? The first common demand among all various organizations, the first one, Indianization of civil services. Indianization of civil services or Indianization of civil services, because Indians were not allowed to enter into the civil services or to conduct civil services exam in India. Then the second major demand was they were opposed the tariff laws on the cotton. Opposed tariff law on cotton. On cotton they were imposed tariff, that means certain kind of taxes, separate tariff. So these tariffs were opposed by these all organization. Then this all organization also opposed, these are opposed Lord Lytton's Afghan policy. Lord Lytton's Afghan policy. Sir, what was Afghan policy? Because British was trying to invade on Afghanistan. So these all organizations were opposing their policy. Lord Lytton's Afghan policy. They opposed Lord Lytton's Afghan policy. And fourth one, they also opposed Arms Act. They also opposed Arms Act 1878. They also opposed Arms Act 1878. Then another one, they also opposed Vernacular Press Act. Very, very important. Vernacular Press Act. Vernacular Press Act 1878. So these three major laws were initiated during the Lord Lytton's period. Lord Lytton's. What is the vernacular importance of this Vernacular Press Act? According to the Vernacular Press Act 1878, it curtailed the freedom of press. It was curtailed. Okay, there was a censorship on the press, paper, print media. So that was the major thing in the Vernacular Press Act 1878. Many times this question came into competitive examination. This one, Vernacular Press Act, under whose period this Vernacular Press Act had been initiated. That was Lord Lytton, 1878. It was curtailed the freedom of Indian press. Then the sixth one, supported Ilbert Bill. Supported Ilbert Bill. Ilbert Bill, it was one of the important bill which was mostly the Indians were supported. It was in 1883, Ilbert Bill. So Ilbert Bill controversy, we can say that Ilbert Bill controversy. Sir, what was the controversy? Why all organizations were supported this Ilbert Bill? Because this Ilbert Bill gave a power. This Ilbert Bill gave power to the Indian magistrate. This Ilbert Bill gave power to the Indian magistrate to preside over the British cases. Means Indian judges also can inquire, can take up the cases which are belongs to British. Okay, so the cases involving British also can be subjected by the Indian magistrate. Means Indian judges or Indian magistrate also can inquire the cases involving by the Britishers. So these are the common demands. These are the common demands because Pune Sarvajanik Sabha having certain other ideology, and Bombay Presidency Association, Madras Presidency Association, they are having different views, but these all are their common demands. These all organizations, these are the commonness. So these commonness was brought them unity, and they were discussing among themselves about the solution of this all. These are the important things. Now, and another thing I wanted to mention that, as you know, 1857 revolt after, the Britishers were silently observing the consequences, silently observing what is happening in India, but they are not taken the repressive measures on the organizations. You can see that much very big mutiny, that much very big Sipahi revolution was curbed. It was curtailed, stopped by the British. They cannot stop small organizations like Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, East India Association, British India Society, Madras Mahajan Sabha, Indian League, but they doesn't want to involve in it, because if they wanted to stop these all activities, they afraid that, they were feared that it may become another important revolution like 1857 movement. So it will be very problematic to the colonial rule. It will be very problematic to the British Empire. And they promised it in 1858. In 1858 Act, after 1857 Sipahi revolt, they have proclaimed that we will maintain friendly relationship with the Indians. We will maintain friendly relationship with the Indians and we will recognize their wishes. So that purpose, Britishers were very keen and very calm. They're just observing what is happening, what the political organizations were doing. That's it. So that's what they did not pay much interest to stop these all activities. So because of that, Indian National Congress was formed. Let's see how Indian National Congress was formed. Right? Indian National Congress. So we can call this Indian National Congress as INC, Indian National Congress. You see, once Indian National Congress was founded on 28 December 1885. See, some of the historians, they believe that in the safety valve theory. Safety valve theory. What was the safety valve theory? Safety valve theory means, as they had experienced very bitter battle, that is 1857 revolt, so that's what they doesn't want to boom bust, they doesn't want to bust these all the Indian organizations to raise another important war or another important revolution. So that's what they wanted to control. They wanted to control before the damage. Okay, so that's what they believed in the safety valve theory. But it is safety, some of the historians, they believe that Britishers were followed the safety valve theory. Okay, because of, if the valve will be burst, it will be very problematic. So that's what the British, their colonial rule was, this they are calm in related to the certain organizations. Few organizations were growing, new organizations forming, but Britishers were not taking any action against them. So that was the safety valve theory. Because of the safety valve theory, they also silent when the Indian National Congress was founded. Some of the members, it was a debatable thing, safety valve theory, because they wanted to prevent before the burst. So that's what INC was founded, some of the historians says, but it was a debatable thing. Alright, Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress was founded on 28 December 1885 at Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College at Bombay. It's very, very important. Bombay, there are 72 delegates were attended from different places. Okay, right. See, the importance of the Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress, the mastermind the mastermind behind this Indian National Congress was Alan Octavian Hume, AO Hume. A.O. Hume was the mastermind behind the formation of Indian National Congress. Who was Alan Octavian Hume? Alan Octavian Hume was a retired British civil servant. So he was gathered some of the intellectuals, he discussed with the Indian intellectuals. Different organizations were there. Why these all different organizations? So one organization, it is better to represent the British, better to represent the India. So that's what he was advised to them. Hence the Indian National Congress was formed. When Indian National Congress was formed, the Governor General, okay, many time question was asked, Governor General. So Governor General at the time was Lord Dufferin. Very, very important. Lord Dufferin was the Governor General or Viceroy. Viceroy or Governor General, both are same. Governor General, when the formation of in 1885, when INC was founded, at the time the Governor General was Lord Dufferin, and A.O. Hume was the mastermind behind the formation of Indian National Congress, and he became a general secretary. For this Indian National Congress, and the president was the first president was Mr. Umesh Chandra Banerjee, W.C. Banerjee or Umesh Chandra Banerjee. Umesh Chandra Banerjee was the first president of Indian National Congress. Secretary was A.O. Hume. It was set up at Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College, Bombay. 72 delegates across India were attended. Okay, and at the time Governor General or Viceroy was Lord Dufferin. The period of the Lord Dufferin was 1884 to 1888. It also very, very important. 1888 to 1884. Right, let's discuss now. See, whenever this Congress was founded, Lord Dufferin was not, he was worried, and he doesn't want to tolerate such kind of these all activities. So hence the Lord Dufferin was called this Indian National Congress as microscopic minority. What he was called? Microscopic minority. Microscopic minority. Many time question asked in the competitive examination. Lord Dufferin was called Indian National Congress as microscopic minority in the sense which represent a small section of Indians. Microscopic minority means what? Represent small section of Indians. Small section of Indian. Remember, what is the meaning of microscopic minority? Because Indians means only few members. A few members. It is a group of few members which can be represent only small section of the Indian society. Okay, and moreover, he did not try to suppress, and he believed that they may represent and we will ignore. He believed that if the Congress will be represent something, we will be ignore. So this is the importance of the Indian National Congress. This is the importance of Indian National Congress, 28 December 1885. This is the background of the Indian National Congress. Alan Octavian Hume, General Secretary, a British retired civil servant, was played an important role to formation of this Indian National Congress. We can also say that he also one of the founder member of Indian National Congress. Okay, let's see, after the formation of Indian National Congress, the Indian freedom movement or national movement in India can be divided into three parts. Again, moderate period, extremist period and Gandhian era. So let's discuss now moderate period. What? Moderate period. Moderates. Right, after the formation of Indian National Congress, some of the moderates were led Indian National Congress. Moderates. Moderates period was 1885, means when Indian National Congress was founded, from that year to 1905. So this year is considered as moderate period because moderate ideology, moderate philosophy, okay, these were led Indian National Congress. So that's what this period 1885 to 1905 period was called as moderate period, and 1905 to 1919 period was called as extremist period. Right, let's see now who were the moderates. There are so many moderates were there. Majority of the members were moderates. Among the members, like Gopalakrishna Gokhale, Dadabhai Nauroji, S.N. Banerjee, Umesh Chandra Banerjee, even A.O. Hume also moderate. Okay, Madan Mohan Malavia, Firoz Shah Mehta, etc. were Badruddin Chapji, Subramaniam Iyer, so many members were there. Okay, example I wrote Gopalakrishna Gokhale, Dadabhai Nauroji, S.N. Banerjee, W.C. Banerjee, A.O. Hume, Madan Mohan Malavia. I wrote small. Madan Mohan Malavia, Firoz Shah, Badruddin Chapji, M.G. Ranade, Subramaniam Iyer. These all are believed as these are the moderates. So these all moderates, they believed that British rule as blessing. What? British rule as blessing. So they believed that British rule is blessing for us. Britishers are ruling, it is good for us. Why? Because the country will be developed. They believed that if the British ruled, the country will be developed. And not only country will become democratic. Not only that, country also will become democratic. Country also will become, liberal. So we can say that these moderates were in the, they had the illusion. They had the illusion that the British will be introduced modern institution. These all the moderates, they strongly believed that yes, British will be develop the India, British will be liberate the India, British will be give modern institutions, or they develop the India, or they remove the superstitions. Why? Because in 1828 they abolished the sati. 1856 widow remarriages they have done, the act was made. So certain kind of the acts were influenced. These moderates were influenced by the ideas, influenced by the certain acts like Sati 1828, abolition of Sati Act 1828, widow remarriages Act 1856. So they believed that this British will be remove the superstitions. This British will be modern Indian institutions. This British will be develop the India, and they run democratically, they believe it. Okay, what are the demands? Though they have a demands, though they had demands, different demands they have. Okay, so many demands are there. Few demands I wanted to explain to you. First demand was to allow discuss on budget. So they are demanding that yes, we need a right, or you need to allow the Indians to discuss on the budget. Budget means British Council or England government will allocate certain budget, so we need to discuss on the budget, if the budget will be sufficient or not. And the second one, it is about the equal chances to Indians. Equal chances to Indians in civil services, in the civils, equal chances to the Indians in the civil services. Next, stop racism, improve the conditions of the indentured laborers, or better salaries and working conditions. Stop racism. Cut the expenditure on military. Because British government spending lot of money on the military. Okay, and to end unfair taxes, to end unfair duties or taxes, to end unfair, there are different taxes were imposed by the British government. And moreover, I am writing here, improve the living conditions of the indentured labor. Improve indentured labor's condition. Improve indentured labor conditions. Indentured laborers were the Indians who were sent to other countries to work, like South Africa, Trinidad Tobago, Sri Lanka, Fiji, Mauritius. Much percentage of the Indians were forcibly sent to work in the other countries. So improve the indentured labor condition. So that was also important. And moreover, reduction on land revenue, because reduction in land revenue, because Britishers were collecting different taxes, so that you better to reduce your taxes. And inquire on the poverty, look on poverty and famines. Frequently poverty and famines were very common. You inquire on it, inquire over poverty, right? And better treatments of the Indians, and better treatment of the Indian soldiers in India. So these all are the huge demands. Give more power to the Indians to speak in the Supreme Council, okay, and better treatment of the Indians in the army, and inquire into the poverty, allow discussion on the budget, equal chances to the Indians in the civil services, stop racism, better salaries and working conditions in the industries, cut the expenditure on the military, to end unfair duties and taxes, reduction in land revenue, and improve the living conditions, good living conditions of the indentured labor. So these are the huge demands of moderates. So how they were convened, how they represented to the British government. They represented the British government in the 3 P's, in the manner of 3 P's. They believed in 3 P's. 3 P's. So first is, we can say that pray, petition and protests. Okay, petition, protest. Pray, petition and protest. Pray, petition, protest. They pray, they request, and they send letters, and they protest in front of the British government or officials, officers and officers. So these are the methods. So pray, petition, protest. This is the method of moderates. So in many examination this question being asked. What are the methods of the moderates? The methods of the moderates were pray, petition and protest. Pray, petition and protest were the moderates. Okay, let's see. Moderates were, there are so many demands were there. So many demands were there. Do they succeeded in their demands? They succeeded? They failed or succeeded? Okay, we can say that moderates, they contributed India that there was a political awakening came due to the moderates. Moderates were mobilizing their views in the newspapers. Moderates were they are writing petitions. Moderates were they were protesting in front of the British offices and officers' houses. So due to that, certain political awakening came in India. So due to the moderates, one thing was happened, that is Indian Council Act was passed. Indian Council Act 1892 was passed because of the efforts of the moderates. Moderates means not completely failed. Okay, because of the efforts of the moderate, Indian Council Act in 1892 was passed. Sir, what happened in this act? Under this act, they allowed to discuss on budget, but not vote. Okay, they allowed Indians to discuss on budget. Okay, then we can say that we got a right to discuss on the budget, but not permitted to vote. So anything else is there, you can discuss on the budget, but you don't have a power to vote against or favor. Though favor, it is not possible. So there is no chance. So according to the 1892 Indian Council Act, Indians were allowed to discuss, or Indians, they got right to discuss on the budget, but not permitted to vote in favor or against of that. And moreover, seats in Central Legislative Council and Provincial Legislative Assembly. Seats in Central Legislative Council and Provincial Legislation Assembly increased. So seats in the central level council, in the center, one council is there. In the council, the seats has been increased, and in the provincial legislation council or assembly, provincial legislation assembly also, the seats has been increased. Okay, the seats has been increased. So the seats were minimum 10 members and maximum 12 members. Minimum 10 members, it was less. So minimum 10 members and maximum 12 members. So this is the criteria. Right. So somehow these moderates were contributed well to the Indian National Congress, well to the Indian society. that they created awareness, they brought the political awakening in India. So these are the efforts by the moderates. In our next session, we will discuss important moderates and their contribution. Important moderates, right? So in this session, we have discussed about that common demands of the political organizations and formation of the Indian National Congress, right? A.O. Hume, Lord Dufferin, okay, safety valve theory. Then after moderates we have discussed. So that's it myself. My sincere request to all, my appeal to all, these are the wonderful classes because gathering information from the various sources, especially NCERT, all the competitive examinations, job related examinations will be focused, questions will be asked from the NCERT books. So NCERT, Bipin Chandra and Tata McGraw-Hill books I have gathered and read. Informative, this is very informative. If you like this session, you please refer my channel to your friends, support me and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Jai Hind.